guys. Well, it's now May 27th, last day of school. Woo! Summer starts, this afternoon for some people. Maybe not for me. At least not the way we thought it was going to start. Well, sorry, it's day 2 in the hospital. Last night was interesting. I spent most of the evening just getting settled. And then, of course, I was talking to family and friends and, just getting Chris and the kids settled and everything. And then just lots of prayer. I'm sitting here all by myself in complete isolation, just me and God, really. So a lot of prayers. Anyway, I was exhausted. I asked for a sleeping pill. They gave me like 6 milligrams of melatonin. I've taken it before. Not too often, but I don't know. Anyway, let me get some water. I'm trying to stay hydrated here. So I just couldn't go to sleep as per the typical, when you're really tired, and I just kind of assumed that, my body, I wouldn't even need a sleeping pill. Yeah, I was wrong. Anyway, I didn't sleep very well. I think I fell asleep before 1 o'clock. And then, of course, the night nurse, made her last rounds at 5 a.m. So woke up around there. So not too many hours of sleep. So anyway, they had to draw blood and do just a lot of things. At 5 o'clock, my veins were giving them some issues. I've always had, what did the nurse tell me it was called? Rolling veins. Just, they can feel them, but then when they go in there, they're gone. So anyway, she came and did all that. Then she left and she was like, okay, shift change isn't until 7 o'clock, maybe even 7:30, so you're good. So she got me an extra pillow, tried to lay it on my stomach. Is a little bit more difficult than one might assume. It helps with the pneumonia. I'm a little grateful at this time that I'm less blessed than others, because I think that would just really, really hurt, So I did need an extra pillow. So she got me an extra pillow. I tried to fall back asleep. Kind of dozed off here and there, but couldn't fall back asleep. And then, of course, at 6, they had their shift change, so I was wide awake. So I ordered my breakfast around 6:30, and oddly enough, it didn't even show up until 8:30. But while I was waiting, I got a quick little nap in, so that's good. Here, I think I explained this on yesterday's part 2 video, but due to COVID restrictions, you can't have any clothes brought from home, like anything from home for that matter, even like underwear, bras. They have to be brand new with tags. I don't know. I think that's just ludicrous. Like, dude, I'm already here. I already brought COVID into this room. So if there's COVID on my clothes at home, who cares? Like, I already brought it in. But we didn't know that. Of course, we didn't even know I was going to be staying 5 days, when they originally wheeled me up to the room yesterday. So I had sent Chris home to get me some stuff, just a couple outfits or whatever. So he smuggled those in. So I do have some new clothes, or some clothes from home on right now. I was able to take a shower this morning. Now, I feel like I just ran a marathon. I'm incredibly worn out. That was really hard. I remember after I had the C-sections that getting in the shower, you just, your whole lower extremity of your body hurt so much. But with the C-sections, Chris was right there, he was helping me, or my mom, or, whatever. Yeah, no, isolation, nobody, just me and the bench in the shower. But I was able to take a shower, so that's good. And like I said, I was able to change clothes. I do feel much better, I'm exhausted. Sorry. Shortness of breath and everything, but man, it feels good when you get cleaned up. So hopefully that'll just set the day off right. But breakfast finally did come this morning. It was, not terrible, and not as great because I can taste it. So I'm on day, 6? whatever. I'm on, day 6 of when my symptoms started. So I'm in day 6 of my isolation period. And so I just kind of assumed I would have already lost my sense of smell and taste. And I'm actually hoping and praying that, okay, Lord, I've got the COVID pneumonia, and I've got to be in here with this fancy drug. But hey, please don't let me lose my taste. So I'm hoping and praying that stays. But anyway, I've already kind of had my quiet time and prayer time, and now I'm just ready to sit here and face the day. Just me and this fancy little room I've got here and all my stuff. Haven't even turned on the TV yet. So anyway, that's the morning of day number 2 in the hospital. Well, hey, it's part 2 of day 2 here in the hospital. It's been a day. So morning was pretty okay. I didn't get a lot of rest, like at all. Just my mind wouldn't shut off. They gave me melatonin, and it didn't work. So I'm really, really tired. I had laid down mid-morning, but then stuff just, started rolling. So I talked to my hospital doctor, the floor doctor, Dr. Rahmed. She was great. She explained that she listened to my lungs. She said my lungs were really crackling. Excuse me. They were crackling. Had to ask her really what that meant, but she just said there was some, definite fluid on there. So she ordered another chest x-ray. She said that's probably why it hurts to cough, which, it always kind of hurts to cough, but these were, really down deep, like in my stomach, so to speak, way down there, or in that sternum area. But so she also ordered a diuretic, which hasn't arrived yet. I think they're going to give it to me later tonight. But so she said that, because the fluid, without, coughing it up or releasing it naturally using the bathroom, the fluid has nowhere to go, and it just kind of builds up. So hopefully the diuretic will get here and I can take that, and, unfortunately I'll be in the bathroom all night, so possibly another long night of no sleep. But, if it can get the fluid out, then obviously that's what we want. I went ahead and they gave me the second dose of the remdesivir, whatever, Trump's drug. They gave that to me in my second dose this afternoon. It went a lot faster than last night's dose, so that's good, because last night's dose just took like 3 hours or something. So they put it in my arm instead of last night they did it in my hand, and I wonder if that was maybe why. So anyway, I got that in me. The food has been an issue today. Because of COVID, you have to, it has to be special. I mean, everything special has to be ordered way ahead of time. They have to leave it at the nurse's station. Anyway, the night nurse, the left hand doesn't really know what the right hand is doing, is what it seems. So long story short, I called. My nurse said, well, they don't deliver till 1 o'clock. So call around 12:15. It takes 45 minutes. So I call, and they're like, oh, well, you already have an order in. I said, no, I don't. Well, come to find out, if you don't order by 10:45, the chef is gonna make you a plate, because you have to eat. So if you forgot to order, so you're supposed to order by 10:45, not 12:15. So nobody told me that. So the chef just made me a plate. It did get delivered shortly before 1 o'clock. That happened to be when they had started the drug, the IV medication, and it was giving me problems. I'll get into that in a second. So the food sat over here. So anyway, she loaded me up with the IV drug here and started it. It started, I don't remember exactly the numbers this first time. And then after about 15 minutes, it started beeping really, really, really loud right there in my ear. And so I pushed the nurse button, said, hey, it's going off. She was like, really, this fast? Okay, I'll be right there. Well, right there was 18 minutes later. and I couldn't get the beeping to stop. And I mean, it was so loud, like so loud, giving me a headache. Well, she comes in here and she's like, what? She's confused a little bit, my main nurse. She says, oh my gosh, you were getting water in your arm. It was not the drugs. She had the drug hooked up and everything, but it was water, it was fluid. So hopefully that helped getting out the fluids of the lung, just washing them out, right? But so then she hooked up the drugs. Well, because it was in your arm, she didn't tell me that you have to keep your arm straight the entire time. And if you bend it, you know, like say when you have to go to the bathroom, it'll go off again. So of course I get up to use the bathroom, do all that, and it goes off. Starts beeping again. I'm like, all right, I'm just the problem child today. But she showed me how to fix it. It didn't happen again. So I come over here and sit down at the table, eat my lunch. The chef had a huge plate for lunch. Like, honest to God, I've been fasting for quite a while. And so I don't eat lunch very often. If I do, it's like a protein shake. This was like a massive Cracker Barrel type of a meal. It was pot roast flavored meatloaf, diced potatoes and green beans, a dinner roll, fruit cocktail, tomato soup, just a huge plate, right? So, well, by the time I got over here, it was pretty cold. It just was not appetizing at all. My stomach hurt between breakfast and lunch. I think it's just, I was getting a lot of information. It's been information overload in here. A doctor kind of had talked to me about some long-term issues right before lunch was delivered. So anyway, I didn't eat very much of it. I was not feeling it. While I was eating, the infectious doctor for the hospital, for the county actually, for the county, share between us and 2 other hospitals, I guess, comes in to talk to me. So I didn't even eat very much at all, and I lost my appetite after talking to him. So he was incredibly helpful, gave me tons of information. Again, just information overload. One of the things he said was, you know, for mild and moderate cases at home, it's 10 days isolation, and as long as you don't have a fever, you're not contagious. Well, I haven't had a fever for 2 days, so that's good. But if you're in the hospital with a more severe case, like me, it's the Texas government recommends 14 days isolation, but the CDC recommends 20. And at 20, you're 99.9999999% not contagious. So you can come out of isolation. I'm sorry. So guess what? Guess who is on a 20-day isolation? Me. So June 9th is my exit date, which is the bad news, very bad news. You know, I kind of thought like, I'll go home on Monday and I can go back to being with my family. No, God has other plans. But the good news is Luke's birthday is on June 12th and June 9th is before June 12th. So I can still celebrate his birthday. So that was... I also asked the doctor about summer travel because we've had a huge 15th anniversary trip planned for like 5 years really, cruise, and it got canceled, of course. So we rebooked and decided to go somewhere we've never been, Bay Area, Lake Tahoe. And anyway, I asked him, he said, yeah, it's fine, you know, it's probably the best time you can fly because you'll be natural immunity, you know. The high elevation could be an issue, you know, so just watch it, pay attention. But good news is we don't have to cancel. Obviously, you know, there's like 10 days or 9 days between my out of isolation period and the flight. So it could be interesting, but we're going to monitor it. And, you know, that's just, to me, really, really, really good news. We can go on the trip. Don't have to suffer. We're going to be 2 wounded warriors. I told Chris we're 2 peas in a pod because about 3 years, maybe 4 years ago, hurt his ankle so bad. And, you know, so he, you know, he has some issues. And so when we go places, it's always me, you know, just making sure he's good. And I said, well, guess what, buddy? Roles are reversed. And it's just going to be funny because we're just going to be 2 wounded warriors trying to live our best life. So, The infections doctor also talked to me a little bit about, just some long-term effects COVID is going to have, pneumonia is going to have. I'm on a pretty low oxygen level. I'm on 2 liters out of a maximum of 40. I'm still obviously having some trouble, some shortness of breath, like I am when I'm talking a whole bunch. I'm trying to talk, but not talk too much, anyway, so, he said, within by 20 days, you should probably be fine, but you might catch yourself every so often having shortness of breath when you're talking or coughing maybe, He said that could go on till a month, 30-day time, maybe even 45-day time. So just, monitor it. He said the big concern with COVID that they know of is blood clots. I have to take a daily shot. They came and did that to me before dinner, and they're monitoring it in the hospital. They're gonna do another blood test before I leave, just to make sure I'm okay. But so that's something, essentially very long term that I'll have to keep an eye out of. There's just so little that they know. Like, they know a lot more now. I'm super, super grateful. I prayed this last night that this happened in May 2021 instead of May 2020. Because in May 2020, in some places, I don't really think it was here in Montgomery County, but, they were turning people away at the ER. You were too young. We're going to service this guy who's 70 years old. Or, I remember that. So I'm very grateful. This isn't even a full COVID floor. So, I've got a bed. I can't switch my, when you do this, you can't do a thingy, but there's the respirator right there, or ventilator right there. So, it's, can you see that? Hello, there you go, Miss Davis. That green thing. So, it's, I'm ready if anything really bad were to happen. So, very grateful. But there's a lot that they don't know. But they do know that is a very long-term thing that you got to watch out for. So, it's kind of scary, a little depressing, this just came out of nowhere and kind of shocked us all. And then, I don't know what I thought, but just like, oh, well, you get over pneumonia, you go home, you're fine. Then, oh, no, 10 more days of isolation. And then, just, oh, yeah, and by the way, you might have some minor problems. And then, oh, here's this really big one. So it's a little humbling, to say the very least. But, I've done a lot of praying anyway. I tried to take a nap a while ago, and again, I couldn't really sleep. But I was just praying, like, okay, well, Lord, I know He's going to take care of me. The Bible says we know that all things work together for the good, for those who are called according to His purpose. And I am called. And so I know that it's all going to work out. But, just puts a little damper on it, a little nerve-wracking. So, anyway, but they've come in. They're about to have a shift change, actually, get my night nurse. I've already done all my meds and my drugs, my shots. They've done some blood work. It'll about be time for them to take my blood pressure again. I'm really good on that. My oxygen's back up to 94 or so. Heart rate has been in the 80s, low 80s, so that's really good because I came in yesterday 140, 130. Temperature has been 98 and below, so fever's gone, that's great. And blood pressure has been really, really normal. Most of it's been in the 120 over 80s, so I'm normal. So, these are all huge answers to prayer anyway. So, if He can take care of that, He can take care of these things too. So, anyway, hopefully tonight I'm going to talk to my parents and talk to my kids. I just FaceTime the kids. I think the 3 of them are a little struggling just a little bit at the house. We had a friend drop over some food. Cannot thank her and her family enough. And I know there's going to be more that do that, but that's huge. So Chris doesn't have to worry about it, But I think the house they're a little restless. They're a little bored. Daddy perhaps might be going a little crazy. I don't know. So anyway. So I forgot to mention the other fiasco today. It's been a day. the toilet just stopped flushing. It wasn't really clogged, just stopped flushing. So I had to tell the nurse. She came in. I had to get some meds for nausea and different things, but she came in and was like, oh, just let's keep flushing it. So she pushed it like, I don't know, 5 times. And she's like, man, well, it's rising now. Okay, let me do it some more. Long story short, of course, it overflowed all over the bathroom, and here I am trying to drink as much fluid as I can to get the fluid off my lungs, and I have no toilet. So they quickly called in a maintenance guy. He actually came pretty quickly, like within 5 or 7 minutes. He did some magic trick, said it was fine, it's back up working now. Housekeeping came, cleaned it up, but it's just, it's been a day. It's been a day.